Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
This is Dakota, one of the calibrators here at Lund Racing, and this is his 2012 Boss 302. I want to know the lineage. I know it's a little windy, so I'm sorry if the phone is a little fuzzy in terms of sound, but I wanted to know, like, when you bought it, the mod you made, and how it currently sits.
So this car's been through multiple different power outer setups at this point. 2015, I bought it after I had an 04 Cobra.
Oh, you're a Cobra guy. I forgot about that. Oh, shit.
The car was great.
My bad.
I was a little bored with it, so I wanted something newer. Just driving down the road one day in the Cobra, saw this on the side of the road in the dealer's parking lot. So pulled in, traded the Cobra in, and came home with it. Immediately regretted the decision, actually, because it was quite slower than what the Cobra was.
What was under the Cobra?
It's just a pulley cold air take tune. It was probably 480.
But this was slower than the Cobra?
Well, it may not have been slower, but it didn't have the hit.
Gotcha.
It was NA. So I did some basic bolt-on mods, E85. It was fun for NA, but it wasn't enough. So I put a 2.9 liter Whipple on it, fuel system, and then that was with the Gen 2 blower. I think that set up me 800-ish with the E85,
okay.
ID 1300s, fuel system.
So you did that all in one shot?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you didn't wait. You're like, fuck it, we're just tuning it.
Doubled the power. Ran that for a while. Then they came out with the Gen 3 blower, which had the better housing and better rotor pack.
Right.
And then it made 920 on, I think it was about 17 pounds of boost. I still wanted more, so decided I kept eating belts.
Right, I remember you kept throwing belts at the track and you're like, fuck this blower shit,
yeah.
I'm done.
That was with the old belt routing setup that Whipple had, and with that blower it would take out your alternator, water pump, so if you lost the belt you were screwed.
Right.
So I went turbos. Turbos were great at first. Install sucked. I did them on jack stands in my dad's garage. It was awful.
You had a fluid twin turbo kit?
Fluid twin turbo kit. It was great. Worked great and everything. But you do have to move a lot of stuff to get it installed. And I couldn't stand the heat in the engine bay constantly.
How much power did it make on the, well, you did cams.
So, well, at first when it was a complete stock motor with VCT, it made just over 1,000 at 16 pounds of boost. So one less pound of boost made like 100 horsepower.
Okay.
Over the previous Whipple setup. But I started running the valve float about around 17 PSI. So I decided to pull the motor out, put valve springs in it, and while it was apart, Senior's like, hey, I got a set of stage 3 cams, you want them? Yeah. Decided to lock the cams. Horrible decision.
Why? Tell the people out there,
It's a stick car, so in cams, and there was no low vac bypass work as a turbo setup.
Right.
So at low RPM,
no brakes.
Yeah, it would really buck, and it just did not drive well at all. So I hated it. But it made awesome power. It made like 1,100 horsepower at the same boost.
Stock bottom end.
17, 18 pounds of boost, I think that was. Made 11, 16, and it was still climbing.
Wow.
But I got scared because how fast I went up on the dyno. I was like, oh, it's gonna blow up.
So what made you decide to ditch the twin turbo setup and head over? Well, we'll tell everyone what's on it now.
The reason I switched is because
it's all good, Senior. I'm not going to point over there because then we'll give away where we're at. But keep going. Go ahead. I'll get closer to you.
The main reason for switching was the drivability issues and the heat that I had in the engine bay. I also had that valve cover.
Okay, hold on for a second. Let me pause a bit so Senior can get inside. All right, keep on going.
Drivability issues. Just wasn't enjoying the car for what I use the car for, which is basically just street cars.
Right.
I don't go to the track.
Drive it every day.
That's just what I used to. So it's more fun, in my opinion, to have the positive space of blower on. And in order to get the turbos to work well, especially down the track, you have to really beat on them hard, no lift shifting, and I just felt like
with the turbos.
With the turbos,
right?
I just felt like it was gonna degrade everything way faster than what it could have last. That and then the heat issues that I was constantly dealing with in the engine bay. I didn't have AC for a while, and all of
in Florida,
all the heat from the engine bay was just coming up through the tunnel, and it was awful. But when turbos were spooled and in boost, it was great.
Right.
It was awesome. They made all the right sounds. It was awesome. But I wanted something that was a little more street car friendly. So I found a customer of ours. His name's Zane, and he was looking to go turbo. I was looking to go back to a blower. He had a Gen 2R TBS setup. So I was like, hey, you want to do a trade? So we did a straight up trade. He gave me a little bit, he gave me a little cash on top. And it was all over it. Installed in like a week.
So right, and you've been driving it, been enjoying it.
It's way better.
For what you want to do.
For what I want to do, it's way better. It's definitely probably on the lower power side of the setups that have been on it, but it's more enjoyable in my opinion. The TVS, I enjoy the more instant snap than the Whipple even had.
Especially with a stick car.
Yeah, it's way more fun. It drives it better. The bypass, it's better drivability as far as it doesn't have that choppy bucking going on at the idle speeds.
So real quick, I want to open the hood, and then after that, I want to hear it because I don't think people realize what a locked cam Coyote can sound like with some badass cams. So let's open the hood. Yeah, we're not going to be impressed. We know it's going to look like ass underneath there.
Nothing looks stock anymore. It's all been moved around.
Yeah, so basically, remember guys, he went from Whipple supercharger to fluid twin turbo back to a TVS. Oh, thank goodness you have a PMAS. Oh, you almost scared me for a second there. Ooh, I gotta move that route. So there you go, we have a Gen 2R. Yeah, you could see how he had to move a lot of the lines for the fluid twin turbo manifolds and everything was up here, but it actually kind of made some space here because all the cables and shit that's there. Oh, it is a Gen 2R, yeah. I thought it was just a regular Gen 2, but Gen 2R, very nice. PMAS 120, how's it tune? So, and you have a this came with a kit?
Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that came with, because that's actually, you could just throw some ice in there if you want to go to the track. That's cool. So this has cams. It's comp stage 3 NA locked from the turbo setup, and you did not change where they were when it came to the TVS.
They were, and it looks great.
Perfect, let's hear it.
It's probably close.
It's all good, just close it. We don't need to do it. The tune's all fucked up, and it might, the wind might hit the filter wrong. So again, this has locked cams, and I think it's interesting. It has an interesting sound. I think you guys would really enjoy it. Are in there.
They are BBK Variotunes. They were free.
So he's got BBK Veritune, the ones that you can screw something in and it like changes.
It like makes it quieter or something. They don't sound bad.
How do you have them set up right now?
However the kid gave them to me.
Oh, okay. You don't have them like open, close, nothing. Dude, it sounds great. So, future plans for the car? You just kind of. It is a Boss 302, and you thought about selling it. Are you still?
That was back when it was turbo, and I just wasn't enjoying the drivability with it anymore. So I was thinking about selling it, but the blower I'll keep it a little longer. I'll probably put a Gen 3R on it eventually, but for now I'll just leave the Gen 2R because it's fun.
Still stock bottom end, cams, gets decent gas mileage when you drive it, or?
Gas mileage is pretty terrible with locked cams. It like shows like 12.
If you had to do it all over again, would you lock the cams?
No.
Right, you'd have VCT and maybe a ghost cam tune you could turn off and on.
If you want to do the Ricer thing, just put the ghost cam tune on it. But the retaining VCT is way better. It drives way better.
And this is why I wanted to have him on the channel. Quick guys, he has a locked cam Coyote. It sounds awesome, but even he'll tell you, nah, let's leave the VCT in it next time because it drives smoother. And if you want the option of turning on a ghost cam, you can just turn it off later.
That and so on the turbo setup, when it still had VCT, below 5,000 RPM, it was up about 100 horsepower over the lock cam setup.
Wow, interesting. So the VCT, you can control it. If you always have cam control, you can actually still make more power down low. Right. Locked cam, you need RPM to make it'll make a peaky kind of curve.
As soon as I got into power, these cams were way better, but they're aftermarket cams.
Right.
But stock cams with VCT were up.
Oh, torque wise, or just power wise. Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Well, that's like one of the guys said, if you have cam control, why not use it instead of just locking it up? So there you go, guys. Even from your tuner, your favorite Lund tuner here, that if you have VCT versus stock cams, he would prefer a stock non-locked cam so that he can actually enjoy the vehicle, make good torque down low, and depending on, you mostly use it between 2 and 5,000 RPMs, right? You're not up there at 9,000 RPMs with this thing all the time. Not very cool. I just wanted to kind of get everyone. I know a lot of people get tuned by Dakota and they don't really know the story behind the car, and I wanted him to give you a rundown. If it's windy on the phone, that's the best I could do. Whatever, just grow up. But yeah, thanks again. I appreciate it. And if you guys are interested in potentially buying it one day, hit him up. This guy, he's got a house to build.
I'm gonna buy one of these.
Yeah, he wants to buy one of these guys. He drove this and he was like, yeah, I'm in. So I get it. I totally get it. But thank you, Dakota. Appreciate it, brother. Talk to you later.